Good morning friends, I am student. Today we are going to learn about diversity of cryptogams with reference to habitat means natural home of a plants. Then thallus organization means their appearance or forms. Nutrition and ecological status means significance. So the word diversity is nothing but an variation or various different types of forms. So how they are developed? Because of different type of habitats. So what is meant by habitat? A natural home of organism. So what happen in a natural home or habitat? All plants shows diversity in various direction, and that can create each and every plant which is different from each other. So how it is? Habitat is the type of natural environment. It is characterized by both physical and biological features. Means what? Each habitat has its own set of characters. For example, first, that is type of climate, and within that rainfall, temperature and lights. And on these different types of climatic conditions, plants also has different type of natural homes called as a habitat, while the type of soil which is on which plants are grows, that is based on physico-chemical properties. Means a type of soil is also sharing a different type of habitats. Then forms is nothing but an overall shape of a plant body which is characterized as a appearance which can show simple or complex structure and higher lower to higher organization. So one and only one that forms are nothing but an morphological characteristic appearance. Then there is a one another thing which is responsible for the creation of a biodiversity or diversity of cryptogams, that is nothing but an nutrition. Within nutrition, what happen? All plants are develop their own food material. That's why they are called as a self feeders, and that's why also called as autotroph, because they develop their own food material. But there is a one exceptional case, that is a fungi, which could not develop their own food material, and that's why they are called as a heterotrophs. Then last one is the ecological status, that is also responsible to create a diversity within a cryptogams. So what happened? The algae, which are primitive plants which can develop a land. Then bryophyte also participate in the land development. What happen after the development of land? On land there is a development, there is a evolution, or there is a modification of a first terrestrial or land plant. Means that is nothing but an pteridophytic plant, and that is the initiation of a forest ecosystem. The first land plant is nothing but an pteridophyte which is grow in a vertical direction, while as in case of bryophytes they are prostrate on the land surface. So when the land plant are develop into a erect shoot system, at that time there is a development of a initial development of a forest, and likewise that forest can develop their own ecosystem, that is a environments. So this is the table which can shows which type of habitats are shared by algae, fungi, bryophytes and pteridophytes. Here is the 10 different type of habitats, and from that 8 different type of habitats are shared by the algae. So first one, that is a aquatic habitat. What happen in this case? Algae are totally depend on a aquatic zone. So the algae which are aquatic algae, they are developed in fresh water or marine water. Fresh water is that water which is a rainwater, while marine water is that water which is present in sea or a salt water. So such type of algae which are developed in fresh water or marine water, that is called as a aquatic algae. While the some algae also grow in soil, rocks, logs, tree trunk, moist wall. Such type of algae is called as a terrestrial algae because they are developed on a land surface. While epiphytic algae are those algae which are grow on other large algae, then bryophytes and angiosperm. What is meant by epiphyte? Epi means above, phytic means plants. So such type of algae which are grow on other plants is called as a epiphytic algae. Then symbiotic algae. This is a type of a algae which are beneficial to each other like fungi, bryophytes, gymnosperm and angiosperm. Means what happen in case of a symbiotic algae, both plants are grow with each other and could not create any harmfulness. That's why they are called as a beneficial or a symbiont. While here is the epizootic algae. Epi means above, zooic means animal. So some algae also grow on animals like snail, fishes, tortoise. That is called as a epizootic algae. Then cryophytic algae. Cryo means ice or snow and phytic means plants. So some plants or algae growing on ice or snow, such type of algae are called as cryophytic. Lithophytic, litho means rocks or stones and phytic means plants. Such type of plant which are growing on moist rock and stones, such type of algae called as a lithophytic algae. Then parasitic algae. Algae are, first of all, they are producers or autotroph in nature. Beside that, some algae can create a harm to plants and animal. So that's why that type of algae is called as a parasitic algae. Then algae are basically aquatic, and that's why the saprophytic nature and xerophytic habitat are not shared by the algae. Then come towards fungi. Fungi are those plants which could not develop their own food material, rather than they can also share a aquatic habitat with some other algae. And aquatic plants means some fungi also found in water but upon algae and aquatic plants. While the fungi which are heterotrophic in nature, they can also share their shelter with algae and fungi, and that is nothing but an lichen. Such type of fungi are called as a symbiotic fungi. Some fungi also grow with roots, and that is a mycorrhizal fungi. Then usually fungi are a parasitic in nature, and that's why they cause diseases in host, for example plants, animals and humans. Then they also grow as a saprophytic in nature, that is nothing but they can grow on dead or decaying matters and is called as a saprophytic fungi. Then come towards bryophyte. What is mean by that? The bryophyte, which is a first plant which can horizontally, parallelly or prostately grow on a land, while some bryophytes are also grow in water, and such type of bryophytes are called as inhabitants of water, means they also share a water habit, and that's why inhabitants. These bryophytes also called as amphibians because they complete their life cycle in on land as well as in water, and that's why they are amphibian plants. Then there are some such bryophytes which are terrestrial and found in swamps, muddy, shady, humid places of land, means such type of land which has plenty of water. Then some bryophyte grow as a epiphytic. Epi means above, phytes mean plant. So some bryophyte grows upon other plant, that bryophytes are called as epiphytic bryophytes. Then some bryophyte also grows on dead decay matter or rotten woods. That type of bryophytes are called as a saprophytic in nature. Then come towards pteridophyte. Pteridophyte are first land plant, and they has a erect growing system, that is nothing but a development of a vascular tissues. Beside that, some pteridophyte also grow in water, usually in ponds. So such pteridophyte are called as aquatic pteridophyte, while most of the pteridophyte are present on terrestrial lands, and they share or they live on moist shady places. That is the most important pteridophyte which becomes a first land plant, while some pteridophytic plant also grow in desert or xeric land. Such type of pteridophyte are called as a xerophytic pteridophyte. So this table reveals some details about forms, means appearance of a algae, fungi, bryophyte and pteridophyte. So how it is? Some algae are unicellular, some algae are colonial, some algae are siphonoecious, and some algae are parenchymatous. So this is a unicellular colon algae. Then this one is a colonial form, this is a siphonoecious, and this one is a parenchymatous. So what happened in this case? This single cell alga is unicellular one. Suppose these alga are growing with each other and develop a colony, that is a colonial alga, and some algae are having a vessel like or siphon like structure, that's why these are called as a siphonoecious, and this is a sargassum which is a parenchymatous algae. Then come towards fungi. Some fungi also unicellular in nature, and the fungal thallus is nothing but a mycelium. There are two different type of mycelium, that is a septate mycelium and aseptate. So here is the diagram which shows a septate hyphae, means mycelium. So this is a clear cut septation found in mycelium, so that's why it is a septate hyphae, while this is a aseptate hyphae because there is a no formation of septa. So here is the some different type of mycelium, and these are the mushroom forms. This is again a mushroom form. While the bryophytes which are grow on land surfaces, this is a type of a bryophyte. This is again another type of bryophytes. And last one, that is a pteridophyte, which is a erect plant which is grow on land as a erect plant body with the true root, stem and leaves. So here is the pteridophytes. This table reveals some details about a nutrition or mode of nutrition. Due to that particular mode of nutrition, algae, fungi, bryophyte, pteridophytes can shows a different type of diversity. So first of all, algae, which is called as a photosynthetic autotrophic producer. Why they are photosynthetic in nature? Because they convert solar energy, that is photon, into a biomass. And why they are autotrophic? Because they make their own food material, so that is why autotrophic. And they create biomass, that's why it is called as a producer. So likewise, algae, bryophyte and pteridophyte are photosynthetic, autotrophic and producer in nature. So while fungi are heterotrophic because they could not develop their own food material and they grow on dead decay matter, that's why they are called as a saprophytic. Some fungi also creates disease, that's why they are called as a parasitic. Beside that, such mode of nutrition, each and every group of plant can give a significant values to the nature, that is nothing but and the algae which make their own food and play a role in global carbon cycle to remove excess CO2 from environments and generate O2. So that is the most important thing which is done in nature due to the such type of mode of nutrition, which is photosynthetic, autotrophic and producer. So while fungi are heterotrophic, saprophytic and parasitic in nature, beside that they play major role as a decomposer, breakdown of organic matter, means they can clean a land or environment. As like algae, bryophyte are photosynthetic, autotrophic and producer in nature, and they absorb rainfall, then absorb minerals from dust over the surface through rhizoids and foliage leaves. Means bryophytes are grow parallel to land surface, and that's why they can absorb minerals from land and dust as like with the help of rhizoids and foliage leaves. This is the pteridophytic plants, which are the first land plant. What is meant by first land plant? Such plant which is erect in nature with the vascular system and forming a forest like appearance, which is most important, and that can give a food to animals which are present at that time when the pteridophytes are initiate on a land. Then this algae, fungi, bryophyte and pteridophyte creates ecological significance, and that is the most important thing. Due to that, they develop a diversity in nature. So first of all, algae which are producer are called as a beginner to transfer solar energy into biomass. So they share a basic food chain, and algae has its own metabolism. That metabolism is sensitive to pollutants, means what? They can monitor and they can indicate pollution which is found in ecosystem. So that is the most important significance of a algae for a ecosystem or complete environment. or a earth planet. Then fungi, which is called as a decomposer, symbiont or bioremediation. So bioremediation is the most important because the fungi are those plants which can develop 90% plants depends on mycorrhizal nitrogen fixation, and that's why the fungi are most important in nature. While fungi are decompose organic matter to clean a land, that is the most important significance. Then bryophytes, which are called as a soil formation, they retains moisture in land and they can recycle whatever the nutrients present in land, and that type of working is most important in case of desert land. And then they are also be, being as a pollution indicator and soil former. Then pteridophytes are such plants which can hold water, they can accumulate minerals. For example, equisetum can accumulate gold in stem, and they also participate in soil profiling, means making of soil. So bryophytes and pteridophytes both are such plant organism which can participate in a soil formation. So I hope you are understand each and everything about what are different criterias of a diversity and which criterias are most helpful for cryptogamic diversity, means the right from habitat, then forms means morphological appearance, then mode of nutrition and ecological status. All together they can develop a huge diversity of cryptogamic plants. So thank you.